Coach, you're kicking off the season tonight with the Maroon and White game, kind of the opening scrimmage for your all season. Can you tell me a little bit about this game and why it's important for your team?
Yeah, so we started this a couple of years ago, just kind of as a kickoff to the season. We want the parents to come out and meet each other. We want the girls to play together before they actually are playing against somebody, and just kind of get that team camaraderie going. But really, it's part fundraiser, part just get to know each other. The parents really have the opportunity to kind of meet the kids too, because it's hard when you go to the first game, you have no idea who else is on the team, especially when a lot of these girls are freshmen, new to Assumption. So the parents get to meet the teammates, they get to meet each other's parents as well. And I think it's just a great way to kind of bring the program all together as one. So, anything
else that you're looking forward to this year as you kick off the season here?
Looking forward to? I love our away trips. So we go to Gatlinburg. We're going to Gatlinburg. We do a lot of fun things with the girls, but it also allows us to play competition that we'll never see. We've played a couple teams in Tennessee over the last couple of years, and they've been like top in Tennessee. Fun games, very, very competitive, and we do it kind of mid-season just because it's kind of where we need to be, see where we are and where we need to be towards the end of the season. So yeah, that's by far my most favorite.
So I know this is also kind of a fundraiser for Assumption Soccer, right? Yeah. So how much does this event that you all started doing, how much does this kind of impact your all season from that perspective?
So it's not a huge fundraiser. We do a couple other things that bring in a little bit more. We do a golf scramble and the Give Campus, but it gives us a couple $1,000s to do things like we did Progress Park last week and spent the night, and it allows us to have a little bit more team bonding moments.
So I know you're also going to be, trying some different things tonight. You're going to be moving players around, looking at different lineups and different positions. How does that impact kind of the game tonight, just in terms of the scrimmage?
So from the beginning, we'll do like a kind of a what we see right now lineup, but it's always interesting because I find this game almost every year I find someone that fits somewhere differently a little bit better, so it kind of helps me. It also gives the girls an idea of where they stand, like going into the season, to know like, hey, maybe I need to work a little bit harder. I'm not playing where I need to be playing, and this game kind of gives everybody an idea of where we're going.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously you've got your first game coming up pretty soon, right?
Yep,
like
August
you've got
7th.
The 7th, so it's about a week away now.
Yeah.
So where is the team from a conditioning standpoint, and how do you feel the team is kind of positioned right now for that?
So, to be honest, we had a great summer. Like, we did a lot of indoor conditioning type stuff and sprints, and we did weights and bands and all kinds of things to get them ready, and there were 40 to 50 at every single one. So it wasn't just, and we don't make it mandatory. Like, when it's off season, nothing's mandatory, but the girls showed up, they worked hard, and they look good. I think they're ready.
So from the schedule from here on out, you've got the scrimmage that's kind of the kickoff for your season.
Right.
What's the schedule look like between now and the Brown game, and then going into the heart of your all schedule, going into kind of August and September? Yeah,
I mean, there's not really an easy game. I mean, we've got a pretty tight schedule, and we start off with Lexington Catholic, if that tells you anything. First game, we scrimmage Brown next week, but our very first game of the season is Lexington Catholic, and they're always good. It's always a challenge. Then we go in mid to late August, we're going to Gatlinburg, play some of Tennessee's top teams. We've got South on the schedule, we've got Notre Dame on the schedule, so there's very few weeks where we really get to take it easy.
Yeah, it's a packed schedule for sure. Leadership. So you have a lot of returning players that have been part of this program from the JV team moving up to varsity now. You have a lot of experience on the team. Talk about the leadership that you have on this team for this year specifically.
Yeah. Just in general, we have 10 seniors, so that brings a lot of knowledge. All of them have played all 4 years, like you said. Some played JV, some have played only varsity. And they're all, all of them are going to step in as leaders at some point and do something. But then we also have several juniors that have been part of varsity since they were freshmen. We did captains the other day, and it's always interesting to me to see who the team picks as captains. Annie Gilbert and Caroline Lingo are our two seniors, two captains, and I think it was a great pick. I think it could have been. There could have been a number of people, and I know a number of people will step up in that role. Not just being captains, but being leaders on the team. So and there's always that balance when you have 10 seniors. Like, it's always like, who's going to step into that role, whether it's the captain or not the captain, who's going to get annoyed that someone else is stepping into that role. Like, you just got to figure it out. And that's part of what the growing pains in the beginning of a year are, who's going to take on those roles and who's going to have the respect to get those roles taken care of.
So you all do it maybe differently from some other teams. You let the team actually vote on captains, right?
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit about why you do that and why you think it's important?
Yeah. So the first thing that we do before we do captains is we have everybody in the room and we go through what does it mean to be a captain, do's and don'ts. Like, my big don't is being a captain doesn't mean you're a coach. You don't get to tell me what to do. You don't get to coach the team, but you have to be a respected leader. And so that's the very first thing I do. And we talk about it's not a personality contest. It's not a popularity contest. We're just voting for our best friends. We're voting for somebody who we respect, and here comes the music, who we respect and we know is going to take that role seriously. So yeah, I think having them choose it empowers them to know that this was their choice, and it gives them that much more respect for those people. So
yeah, absolutely. So talk about the balance of those experienced players versus the other players that you have coming in, the younger players coming up through the ranks.
Yeah, so definitely I think it's when you have several girls that have been on varsity for a while, and then the girls that have been playing JV now moved up to varsity, it takes them a minute to get into the groove of things. I think luckily every player out here is experienced from they're playing club, they've played Assumption, so it's not like they're new to soccer, but just kind of finding their footing in the varsity world. I think the team bonding stuff that we do really makes a difference with that, so they get to know the girls not just as friends but as teammates. So that's why we do a lot of stuff early on.
So what are your expectations for this team this season so far? Just this is the first scrimmage of the season.
Yeah.
What are your expectations for the year right now?
I have very high expectations. We're pretty loaded. I mean, we've got a lot of good returning seniors. We've got several JV or several juniors and sophomores that are going to play major impact roles this year. So I'm ready to take this team all the way this year, and I've told them every time we step on that field, it's to get ready to win a state championship. So.